Welcome to this video on the next Anthony Joshua fight coming up very soon. He's going to be fighting Roberts. So now, starting off from how this happened, it was meant to be obviously Dillian Whyte and basically a do-over of the fight back in 2015, but after testing, it looks like, and please look this up for yourself for more details, but Whyte isn't available to fight. Looking like for the drug test, he hasn't passed the drug tests that are needed for him to be allowed a license to fight Joshua. So replacement in Robert, and he really has, he's fought Dillian Whyte before, he's fought Wilder before, so a guy who's, I would say, in the upper echelons of boxing, but isn't quite at that sort of the peak level of Fury, of star power like Fury, Wilder, Usyk. You got Joshua as well in that. And he's lost against Whyte, he's lost against Wilder. He got knocked out very quick, and Whyte, he took a decision, but Whyte won the decision, and was hurting him in that fight. And my thing is that if Joshua loses, I don't know where he goes. He can go for lesser opponents, lesser name opponents, but the money isn't there for that sort of fight. I think Whyte fighting Dillian Whyte even wasn't drawing numbers that Joshua needs to draw for the amount of people behind him, amount of money people need to be making. He wants to make for these for Joshua fights, because there's only a certain amount of fights you can do at that top level, and so you need to pick and choose them well to make sure you make, and everyone involved is making in the money to continue the advertisements, continue the big shows, to continue your name as a big fighter on at that top of boxing. And I think even against Whyte, I don't think it was drawing in. It was drawing in numbers for a do-over, of course, and two big names. But this, I don't see how this draws numbers that it needs to. I think that failing on the drug test really, it was hard. It was not a hard sell, but it was going to be difficult to get numbers that you could get against Usyk, you could against Fury, you could against Wilder, and now I think that's just become impossible. I don't think they're going to make the numbers they need to make this a viable thing. Really, I think if Joshua loses, that'll be even more devastating for them. I think this is it's really hurt them at a point where most of the time you can get replacements in, but this sort of top level of boxing, the names are what sell the fights, and how big they are. There is a smaller and smaller pool you're pulling from, and very small amount of people that actually replace people on short notice. These top guys, Fury will not replace people on short notice, etc. And Joshua's going for Dillian Whyte, who's probably there's more people to replace him, like they got Robert in, but I think this has just really killed that event. And Joshua, I believe, will win. I think he'll get a KO, TKO. I think it'll be in the first few rounds. I think if he doesn't, I think the party is gone. And if you want to start fighting European champions, and not selling out Wembley, not selling out the O2, big stadiums in a sense, fine. You want to continue boxing, but your days at that, selling out arenas, is the biggest arenas available, is gone. And that's the thing. I think he can't be doing fights where he's such a favourite to win. It just becomes why watch it, because in a sense you only want to see Joshua at that top level where he's trying to win a world title. And if he's not, I don't see, he's then on a downward spiral then, and it just becomes a point where Joshua's name can only go up so far, and when he's losing and going against really, lesser names who've got a lot less name in the sport, especially to casual fans. I mean, I would suspect many casual fans don't know who Robert is, and that's a big problem when you're trying to sell out, trying to sell the many tickets at, for the amount Joshua wants to earn per fight at that top level. You've got to have a dancing partner with a big name. And I don't think it's got that. I don't think it's got the can he beat him? And I think you see it in all these advertisements. If you look around, there's so many advertisements about can Robert beat Anthony Joshua? Can he do something here? And it's just, you're pushing it way too much to the point where everyone believes that he can't do anything against Joshua. And people are not buying it. And it becomes like we've got to push this narrative because we've got to try and get these sales done. So it's quite, look, they've been put in a bad position by them tests and not coming back perfect. And they've had to make do. But I think, this would be this is a sort of point where they go, we've got to only make big fights now. We can only make big fights because we can't be having this, where we're doing a test and it gets put back and then we got no one. And so you've got to make the big fights because these big fight guys, as a standard, don't always pull out with the testing issues or things like that, where, we can see there is a small pool of people you can pull that have a name power enough to go against Joshua's name, and slightly becoming a problem for him, I think, because unless he fights Fury, Wilder, Usyk again, a big name, I think it's going to be a problem for him in the future of where does he match up people, who does he fight, that makes people interested, where he can sell the tickets and sell the pay-per-view. So yeah, please let me know what you think in the comments. I think Joshua gets it done, TKO, KO, round 3. I think that's my prediction. So please let me know what you think in the comments. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.